Let me tell you about one of the best days of my life. Yeah, having my kid and getting married were also the best days of my life, but shut up, let's get to the good part. Now, unless you know me on a personal level, then you probably don't know that I love red meat. Specifically cheeseburgers. I am like if Randy from TPB met Kelly Kapoor from The Office. I'm not a but who knows? Anyways, this was a long time ago. I was probably about 6 or 7 years old. My mom was dropping me off at my dad's house, and on the way she stopped at McDonald's. I got a double cheeseburger. I get to my dad's house and he was planning on bringing me to the babysitter's because he had a gig that night. And what was for dinner? Cheeseburgers. Perks of having divorced parents. You get 2 times everything, as long as they don't communicate. Anyways, let's count the tally, shall we? I am now at 2 cheeseburgers. So I get to the babysitter's house and she's preparing for like some sort of family function that night. She offers me a cheeseburger fresh off the grill for dinner. Now this is my second dinner, but she didn't know that. Let's check the scoreboard. Now we're up to 3 cheeseburgers. Her daughter was also offered a cheeseburger, but she didn't want hers. They didn't want to waste a perfectly good cheeseburger. So guess what motherfucker got to eat that thing? Let's check on the home team. 4 cheeseburgers, but it only got better from there. You see, the reason she gave us these cheeseburgers is because she was preparing for this like big event. She was making tons of cheeseburgers for like whatever guests were coming that night. And she told me to sit down and just be good at the kitchen table, color in a coloring book. But she left me with a whole tray of these cheeseburgers. 7. The final count was 7. For those who are saying, how could a little kid even eat that much? That's impossible. Your lack of genetics providing you with an addictive personality and an insatiable appetite are not my problem. But for me, it was a day that would go down in history as one of the best days ever.
Burn it.
What?
Did I say stand there and look stupid? No, I said burn it.
Well,
I get asked all the time, how do you stay so positive? And listen, there is a good chance that this video is gonna flop. The reason being because humans specifically search for the negative. Our brains are much more likely to focus on the negative than the positive. In fact, we search for the negative. For instance, when you type my name into a search bar, East Coast Mick on TikTok, one of the first things that comes up is East Coast Mick controversy. I don't think I even had any controversies yet. I'm sure I will. But that just shows how people are just hardwired to search for the negative. Now, I know, I am a pretty, positive person, which is why people ask this, and my life, I do think I live a comforting life. I do feel like I have a cozy home, a great family, but we do have hardships. My marriage is not perfect. I know people can't believe it, but we do fight. My father is sick on and off, and I am his caregiver, and obviously, my son has various disabilities, so that can also be a full-time job. But throughout all of these instances, even though, of course, like anybody else, I get down sometimes, I pretty much do maintain a pretty positive attitude. I'd say more positive than most people. And the reason that I'm able to do this is because I've literally had to take myself out of such shitty situations that I had to learn how to be positive. I had to learn how to see hope and see the light, because at that moment, it felt like there was none. I'll never forget a quote, and I don't know who said it. It was anonymous, I believe, but it said, "I refuse to die until things get better, and that is a threat." That quote has kept me going through so much. It has given me the motivation to want to get better, to always seek for ways to improve my life. Just to take you back to what my life was like before, there was a time where I was at such a low point in my life, and granted, a lot was from my own personal decisions, but I remember literally having to wash clothes in the bathtub. This is not where I lived, and I also remember having no money for formula, diapers. I would have to write bad checks. I can only say that because the statute of limitations is up. I know people like to turn shit like this into a piston contest of who has it worse, because that's the net. You want to be negative. That's why. That's your human mind wanting to be negative. But I have struggled, and I accredit a lot of me being able to get out of those situations with my positive mindset. If you just put The same energy you put towards negative thoughts and like negative people into positive people, positive thoughts, your life does start to change. I'm evidence of that. So you guys, I've been at the same mental health facility since I was like 5 or 6 years old. Every time I get like a new therapist, a new psychiatrist or something, they'll be like, oh, well, you probably know the drill. You've been here a while. I'm like, yeah, almost 30 years. And then I realized that ain't no fucking flex. No, but really it is a flex. Even though I've gone through rough times in life, and I'm sure I will in the future, I always know where to go to get the support I need. With that, I have graduated recovery, graduated college, maintained employment. That's a flex. A lot of times I'm assigned like a worker that will basically like take me into the community and stuff because I have massive anxiety. Well, I just got assigned a new one, a new person. I'm showing up like this. Okay, so I got this 90s Knicks shirt, which cool. My son didn't use the binder that he picked out, so I'm also walking in here with a Reptar binder. Open it, it's like all Rugrats. I hope the message is just that I'm a 90s kid and not that I think I'm actually a kid or something. Hoping for the best. Alright, you guys, get ready with me. My husband is making me some breakfast right now. One thing about me, I'm the baddest alive. You know, I'm so cheap lately that I won't even buy full-size, deodorants because how do I know? How do I know it's not gonna make me smell like dog ass? You know what I mean? Like, you can kind of sniff it in the package, but not always. And I'm not gonna pay more than $2.99 to potentially smell like dog ass. Feeling really crazy, so I'm gonna switch it up a little bit and wear a plain black t-shirt. I post on other platforms now that might not know I've had top surgery, so you don't gotta cry. I'm poor, so I don't know what to call this, but my rich friends told me to call it YSL, so that's what I'm calling it. It smells good. Ready for the day. So a lot of people are like, when I say my husband and I argue sometimes, they're like, yeah, right. I can't even picture you and your husband arguing. And like, I know some couples on here, even in my comments, are like, oh my God, I never fight with my significant other. And it's like, good for you. But dude, that should even be healthy, not arguing. I don't even fucking know. Anyways, my husband and I were arguing, right? And I had just come inside from making like this gigantic batch of food for my chickens and ducks for the month. Those livestock feed bags, man, they are so hard to open. Some of them rip off just perfectly, but most of them, they're a bitch. So anyways, my husband and I are fighting or whatever, right? And then we ended up making up. As always, it's always petty shit. And then I reach into my pocket and I pull out the scissors I was using to, cut the bags open when I was making the feed. And he just looked at me like this. And I'm like, what? And he's like, you were gonna stab me? I mean, I wasn't, but that was really bad timing. That definitely. All right, you guys, fit check. Okay, so first, stole the hat from my mom. She already knows you don't got a rat on me, okay? This feather, this is actually from one of my Brahmas named Gandalf. Perfect, okay? Social distortion as usual. Battle vest. This bag, my husband got me to collect eggs from Tractor Supply. The bag's from Tractor Supply, not my husband. Although, he does seem like a model that would be sold there. You can say whatever the hell you want about me. Honest to shit, but you can't say that I don't got natural BDE with these outfits I be wearing. I look dumb as shit, and I don't care. I emit big dick energy. Takes a lot to emit that when you ain't born with one. I live in an old small ranch house, and listen, I would never trade it for a big, expensive, elaborate home. And listen, I don't mean to offend anybody that's got it like that, but I think it's okay if you're offended for a minute. You can just wipe your tears with your money. It's not a big deal. You still got the advantage, so just let me talk. No guest walks into a huge, clean, pristine home and says, damn, I feel right at home. I remember growing up, like going to people's houses who had it differently than me. They had a lot of money. Their homes were like intimidating to me. Like, you mean to tell me that if I get Dunkaroo frosting on this white chair, you're gonna have to pay over $1,000 to replace it? And if not that, then it's gonna cost money to reupholster? Oh my God. You get a stain on my furniture, baby. It'll just blend right in. When you walk into my house, you don't gotta worry about breaking any furniture, getting stains on everything, because everything's already stained and broken. Another thing, I watch too much true crime. If I'm in the shower and like somebody breaks in and tries to like recreate a scene from Psycho only with Unclefestah and not like a really hot actress, my house is so small that my family's gonna hear me within 3.3 seconds. They don't gotta go down a flight of stairs to rescue me cause bitch we ain't got one. Now granted, less places to hide, so it has its downfalls. But I like living in a small space that's so tiny and cramped that people are on your ass that if I'm about to get slain, someone's gonna be there. And they might go too, but at least we got a shot. You can mark my words that if I ever make it big, and hey, it might just be a dream, but I'm monetized on every platform almost now. I ain't never getting no big ass home. Why pay more taxes for a place that if I sit down and there's a period stain that it's gonna like ruin an entire home's decor, and one I could get in faster? I'll stick to my cozy rundown home, no matter what anyone says. Now that I'm older, I'm in my 30s, I consider myself a pretty self-aware person. Except for this one time recently. You see, my husband, he was like scrolling through videos or whatever, and he found this video about like an alternative family that like was talking about like, the hardships of, how society treats you as an alternative family. And I was like, damn. That must be really rough to be that much of an alternative family and, live everyday life and everything. And my husband just looked at me like, oh shit, okay. For a second, I forgot we're two trans men raising a kid that I had biologically as farmers in a rural area. See, that was the one time that it slipped. One time. Yes, king on the neck. I did it myself if you couldn't tell. It's funny because a lot of people will say shit to me like, oh, your tattoos look like you got them in prison. Are they jailhouse tattoos? And when someone says that they've never seen prison tattoos because they are phenomenal, especially compared to this. Well, not that this is professional. I have some professional ones. But yeah, 0 out of 10, not recommended, especially if you're close with your family. I am, and not everybody was happy. But yeah, I got my tattoo gun as a girl before. I'm a trans man. This is before I transitioned. And I tattooed King on my neck. That's why I didn't want to hear shit from nobody when I started medically transitioning. Like, I didn't want to hear shit like, oh my god, it's such a surprise, are you sure? I got fucking King on my neck. As a chick. Like, should be an indicator. It's an indicator, you know what I mean? But yeah, all my tattoos, I know they're shitty, but they look great on me. They match my aesthetic, and I love them, and I'm not gonna stop ever. Vogue. Let's talk about boundaries. I don't fault, the adult population that has minimal understanding about boundaries, because I think people have trouble with boundaries, for various reasons, and some aren't even their fault. But that does not mean that any individual, anybody, should have to put up with behavior that makes them feel uncomfortable. And it certainly doesn't mean that they ever deserve to be shamed for not putting up with that behavior. Now, when it comes to my boundaries and whatever, I'm my own person. Yours don't have to match mine, but I have a very solid idea of what healthy boundaries look like for me. And for me, intent is 99% of the law. That's why I don't get offended when people misgender me, because I'm a non-passing trans man. Do I think everybody that, calls me a feminine pronoun is trying to be insulting or has, ill intent? No, of course not. But intent is usually pretty easy to sniff out, especially in those who think they're being passive-aggressive. Recently, my husband and I made the decision to not show our son on social media. I have pinned several videos on why, and I try not to use his name. Sometimes I slip up, but I'm trying not to use his name anymore. He has a nickname now we use, Mix 6.0. He chose it. Now here's where boundaries come into play. Am I gonna throw a temper tantrum anytime somebody asks about my child? No. I put my whole family basically out on a public platform, and it's totally normal for people to wonder how he's doing, what's going on. And some people probably just didn't get the memo yet. That's perfectly fine. I don't believe there's any ill intent involved. But if you're constantly asking about my child over and over and over by name, you're getting blocked. There's intent there, and you can't tell me there's not. And to be real, even if I didn't make the announcement, even if my son was still on social media, I'd block you for being that interested in a minor. Earlier, somebody was in my live and they repetitively were asking where my son was by name. And I didn't engage the first few times. I figured it's just a viewer who's curious. But then it kept coming and coming, so I blocked him. That's a rational response. And I immediately got met with criticism about how, I jumped to conclusions. I don't care. when it comes to my boundaries, especially ones that revolve my son, I'm going with my gut feeling. And while we're on boundaries, stop fucking disguising abusive behavior as healthy boundaries. It is not a healthy boundary for you to not want your significant, this is unrelated, but it's not a healthy boundary for you to not want your significant other to talk to the opposite gender. What the fuck? Stop acting like that's healthy. It's not. I know, I saw that earlier and I'm like, that is not a fucking boundary. That's abuse. Okay, you guys, you know how I got these little decorative pumpkins, right? I thought they were fake pumpkins because these things are like solid and they're like glazed and stuff. I thought they were fake pumpkins, but see, my son hijacks all of my Halloween decorations and stuff like that, so this is no different. And although we echo constantly, please keep your toys out of reach of the dog, he doesn't always listen. So my dog got the other one of these and she bit it open and it's a real fucking pumpkin. It's a real one. Now I want to cut this one open just to see. Look, she's trying to get more. I'm gonna cut it open on my beautiful new Halloween platter, and you're gonna say that'll ruin it. It was $1. It's fine. It's fine. And just for ornament, we're gonna have Unclefestah here watching over. Twinsies, you know what I mean? Okay. Is this real? That's real. I'm gonna show you my wardrobe. So first we have a black tee, 2XL, classic. I have like probably, I don't know, like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, a billion of these. Black beater. I also wear these constantly, as you probably know. Another black tee, but this is different. You can see because there's a pocket, so that means I stole it from my husband. A black sweatshirt, no hood. Black Janis Joplin tee. Black thermal shirt I stole from my husband. I need to get more of these. I love them. I look so hot in them. Black Three Stooges tie. Thank you, Jen. I love you. And for special occasions, a Celtics jersey, which main color is black. And there is an explanation as to why I wear black every day. Many might think it's because I think it looks slimming, or maybe I think I'm a gothic, oversized J-Rock. No, I wear black because I like dudes. I know that's crazy, but I love men. I know how I think they look good. And in black, men are just chef's kiss. I don't want to ever see a dude in a white tee. There's not a lot of positive things about growing up gay in like a rural area. But I remember one night when that shit came in handy. So I had a friend who was like dating this dude, and listen, if you see this, it's all love, okay? But she was dating this dude who her family like could not stand. Honestly, I couldn't stand him either, but she wanted to sneak out and see him, and I wasn't gonna say no to a good time. Honestly, I was one of those kids who was like scared of life, and I still am scared of life. I've gotten myself in a lot of fucked up situations, but not without like horrific anxiety, you know what I mean? Like, we can turn up, but I might need some guided meditation in the process. Anyway, so we sneak out our window to see this dude, and we're walking down a dark fucking highway. 2 young girls, so smart, you know, and he picks us up, and we go out for a while. I don't even remember what we did. But I think they like got in a fight or something, I don't remember, and he dropped us off on the highway to walk home, which, who the fuck lets 2 young girls walk alone on a highway? And I mean, I did not look like Danny DeVito back then, okay? So there was a risk. Well, anyways, we're on our way home, and all of a sudden her phone goes off. And you know, it was her parents. So we're like, fuck, we know we're screwed. She ignores the call. We know we're in deep shit. We're just trying to find a way out of it, and then it got worse. Bright headlights start shining on us. It was her parents, which back then I took that as a big L, but now I am so glad it was. Anyway, she says to me, shh, just let me do the talking, okay? You ain't gotta tell me twice to shut up. I'm about to shit myself. So the parents come over to talk to us, right? And then all of a sudden she starts crying. On cue, just starts waterworks, starts crying. You can cry on cue? Well, I can do that when I want McDonald's. Like, anyways, she says, Mom, MJ was being bullied for being gay. That's my best friend. I couldn't just let that happen. I was going to meet them so I could stand up and fight. Now, it is true that, like, throughout middle school and high school, like, I was... bullied isn't even the word for what I went through. But that night, I was chilling. And I stayed chilling because we got off scot-free. I was a weird fucking kid growing up. I was like Pugsley Adams. No, but for real, I really did look like Pugsley Adams in a wig. Here's an example of why I say all this. One day, my family wanted to go visit my grandparents' graves to plant flowers or whatever, you know, on their grave sites. They invited me along, which I felt very honored, even though I didn't, know my grandparents. They passed away before I was born. I felt very honored that I was invited. Well, my aunt gets down and she has like a little garden shovel and she starts digging a little bit, to plant the flowers or whatever. And then I lean in and say, hey, you're not thinking about digging anything up there, are you? She's like, no. I'm like, oh yeah, okay, cool. If you are a member of my family or my mental health team, please know that this is literally a TikTok trend. I am not going manic. One thing about me is, listen, when I was younger, I used to think that I was a lesbian who just happened to like dudes, and you're like, what the fuck? That makes no sense. How could a lesbian like dudes? Unless, I don't know, maybe they do nowadays, I don't fucking know. But anyways, I was so confused. I was like, how do I feel so right dressing masculine and having a shaved head, and people refer to me as a guy, and it feels so fucking nice, and I love it. But one implication, I still like dudes a little bit, but I was like, we're not gonna think about that implication. I just rolled with it until I met my first trans person when I was like 16 years old. Then I was like, what? This is actually a thing? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, near me? And they're like, yeah. Like, this is accessible? Yeah. It's not just on national news when one becomes pregnant? No. Oh my fucking God. This is a real thing. I can transition. So that's when I knew. I'm not a lesbian who just likes to get digged down sometimes. You guys, this is my favorite leather jacket, and let me tell you the story behind this jacket, okay? So, I went to a thrift shop, I won't name any names, one day, and there was, a cashier, and he was this young dude, and he was like, listen, nobody appreciates real leather anymore. He's like, I tried this on, it was too big for me, but, since you appreciate real leather, I'm ringing it up for 99 cents. I think that's how much I paid for this, 99 cents. Beautiful. I have my sharp pin, Skinheads Against Racial Prejudice. That's always on there because a lot of people will see that and they'll freak out until they see what it says. Okay, and so what I wanted to do, I haven't had this on since last winter. So let's see what's inside the pockets, because I went to collect eggs and I was like checking my pockets and there's tons of shit in them. Okay, what's in here? Hold on. One of these numbers. Some stuff is probably going to be gross. The top of a chicken feed bag, so that makes sense. A battery, okay.
Charge you up.
A Walmart. What?
I said charge you up, give it a good lift.
I bought mushrooms, pizza, and a little suit, I guess. I don't know. Walmart receipt. All right, why don't I just throw this stuff away? Why do I do that? Oh, wait, what is this? It's a wrapper to something. No melt peanut suet dough. That's for my chickens. All right. Candy wrapper, probably a mint wrapper, really. Used tissues, I knew that would be in there. A drill bit. Good, my husband didn't hear me. I can just sneak it back in his toolbox. A galvanized cloth, hardware cloth tag. And a lot of pine. If you saw anything on the tissue, it wasn't a snot. I hate to tell you, it was probably pine. But, yeah, that sums up our days. So, hope you're having a good day. You guys, today I slept pretty late, like probably till like almost noon. But then when my family went to leave, we had some errands to run. I found this on my doorstep. It is a Panera bag, and once I saw it was Panera, I knew exactly who it was from because my Leah's been telling me a lot about their Asiago bagels. You know I love Asiago bagels. I'm not going to eat one right now. I'm waiting till tomorrow morning. I'll do a video, of course, but I do want to open them and just see what they look like. Oh my God. See these? My husband's right here. Wow. Look at these bagels. Oh my God, they're gigantic. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I do have to take them out just to show you close up. I gotta. Oh my God, they're pre-sliced. That's like from the gods. Oh my God, they're pre-sliced. Life is good. I can't believe they're pre-sliced. Oh my God. Thank you so much, my Leah. I will definitely be doing a video tomorrow when we eat them. Oh my God, and they feel really fresh. I gotta find ways to use them because fresh bagels go quick, and I want to use these. These are like just the reign supreme. Oh my god, thank you so much. By the way, I actually made space like very up high, even so high that my horse dog can't get it, so I can store them safely because my heart would be broken if she ate these. So my dog loves Asiago bagels too. Really, we're one and the same. It's a blessing and a curse, so. Alright, you guys, so I'm in one of my battle vests today, right? And this battle vest has been with me through it all, honestly. And I remember one time I was at the mall, and I'm posting this because I'm sure these people follow me. I'm sure they do. New Hampshire's a small state. It's a small state. Okay, so I was walking in the mall with my mom, you know what I mean? I was walking with my mom, and look at the back of this jacket. Badass. Has a punk rock chick on the back. Love it. Okay, so I'm walking, and these two dudes, they were probably like in college or something. They're like, oh my god, look at the back of that vest. It's like asking to get beat up. So I just have to say, let me show you something. This is me as a girl in the same vest. The same vest, baby. Same vest. You see, it takes a certain level of badassery, okay, to completely change your aesthetic and still rock that shit, still rock the same shit. Thank you for your question. This is my friend Amber. I just wanted to make a disclaimer in case anyone's new. My name is MJ. I'm a trans man. I've had top surgery. I chose to leave fat because I'm fat, and I thought it was kind of realistic. Okay, so obviously I'm covered in really shitty tattoos. I did most of them myself. 0 out of 10 I don't recommend, but do I regret it? Absolutely not, and I'm going to keep doing it. So, the one that hurt the most, I'm going to go with professional wise and then non-professional. So the worst professional tattoo I got was my ribs, these flowers, and this was only about the 3rd or 4th tattoo I got. Listen, I see so many small women with like huge rib cage pieces, and I just, listen, salute. That was so bad. I do not know how you guys sit through it the whole time. I'm like, are you almost done? And listen, I tattooed my own throat. And this was bad, okay? So as far as like what was the most painful, you know, in ones that I did, that would be my 6th, this is my marriage date. That was pretty bad, and I think it's just because I had top surgery like maybe 4 years prior, and so it was just a little funky feeling, like some of it was completely numb, and then other places it hurt really bad, so I think that's why that one was the most painful. So yeah, I hope that helps, and I hope you have a great day. Thank you, Tiffany. I know, like, my voice is the #1 thing I get ragged on for, because like it sounds like my balls didn't fully drop, but then like I literally get comments all the time about how people love my voice and it's soothing, so I feel like it's like, wow, it's worth it then. And it shows that like the things that people rag on you for are literally like your biggest positive traits, I guess is a good way to say it. Well, I did my own throat tattoo. Obviously 0 out of 10 not recommended because it's not safe, but I don't regret it even though it's shitty, you know what I mean. I redo it. I have to redo it a lot because I'm assuming because I'm fat, double chin, you know what I mean. I have to redo this way more than my hands. I redo this probably like once every 2 to 3 years. It really didn't hurt at all, but it was creepy because I was sitting there in a magnifying mirror, tattooing my own throat, and I could see my carotid artery, like, going, and that was a little freaky. I've tattooed my entire body. Once again, not recommended, but I'm not gonna stop. Pain level, it didn't hurt that much, and I really thought it would, because I dated this dude once who was fucking huge. He was a beast, and he had a throat tattoo, and he's like, oh my god, the pain was so bad, I almost passed out. And I'm like, you know, sitting there in the mirror, like, you know. Listen, if I gotta listen to that pick-me chick one more time talk about how nobody likes women that are over 300 pounds, let me offer you a different perspective. This is me as a little girl. I was a fat kid and also evil. And I spent a lot of my adult life as an overweight woman. But then I ended up losing a shit ton of weight. I think it was like 110 pounds, okay? We won't get into how, but that's me then. Another one. And listen, during this time, I mean, my whole life, I just dreamt of what it would be like to be thin. Like, just what... I remember a quote that was on Roseanne where she says something along the lines of, I just wonder what it would be like to be that woman that walks into the room and everybody looks at her. And I got that. I felt that to the core because I felt like my weight was the main reason that I never was considered like desirable. And so yeah, I ended up losing a shit ton of weight. Now during this time I had met my son's father. Yeah, I've given birth, it's a whole thing. But anyways, I met my son's father, and one day we had like a get together, and he invited a mutual friend of ours who I hadn't seen since like high school, you know what I mean? I'll show you pictures from then if I can find any. So this was me when she knew me in high school, okay? Yeah, I think, or I was like right out of high school or something. And this was me when she was going to see me at this event. And I was so excited because I loved running into people from high school because I was finally thin. In my head, I finally had it all. It didn't matter that I was like so messed up. I had nothing going for me at the time. It did not matter because I was thin. This girl had been like naturally thin her entire life. I'm sure she still is. And when she saw me, I could tell she was like, you know, wow, but not wow in a good way. And so I asked my baby's daddy about it later, and apparently she went to him and said, what happened? And he's like, what do you mean? And she was like, you know, it's just, she used to, because I used to be a girl, obviously, she used to be so, like, thick and curvy in high school. I used to be so jealous of her. What happened? So here I was thinking that they were going to be just shocked by how thin I had gotten, and oh my god, I have everything now because I'm thin. And meanwhile, she was thinking about, like, how she used to be jealous of me in high school when I hated myself. I hated how I looked. And there was someone jealous of me? Jealous of my weight? The weight I hated? New perspective. When I was young, my dad, well, he still does to this day, my dad had some crazy sayings for a lot of things. And growing up hearing these things, like, constantly, I just thought, like, they were real words and phrases to describe certain scenarios. So I didn't learn until I was a little older. I started going to friends' houses and stuff. And I remember one time I was at my best friend's house, and I said something like, oh, I think they have the loose mousies. And her mom was like, what the hell is that? And I'm like, you know, loose mousies. And she's like, what the hell does that even mean? And I'm like, you know, like diarrhea. And she started cracking the hell up. She's like, did you just call diarrhea loose mousies? And I'm like, yeah, like matter of factly, you know, like everybody in my family says that, like, you're the weird one out, you know what I mean? So it happens again later on in life when I was like gonna put deodorant on, and I'm like, yeah, I don't want chicken soup pits. And one of my friends was like, chicken soup pits? Like, I think they generally had an idea of what I meant, but I'm like, yeah, you know, like when your armpits stink, you got BO and they smell like chicken soup. Like, I figured, like, that's a universal smell. Like, everybody knows that armpits smell like chicken soup. And they were like, no, like, they had no, that was the first time they were hearing of that. So, you guys, I just had to show you this because I think it's so cute. So my dad, twice a month, he bakes these chocolate chip cookies. He lives down the street, and then he brings them to us. And he uses sugar jar, an old sugar jar, as his cookie jar. And he writes, cookie jar, cookie jar, cookie jar, just to be sure. But they come out very good. He uses like a Market Basket mix. Oh my god, everyone's going to think like my family is obsessed with Market Basket. We are. Okay, so this is what they look like. They are so good. They are so good. They always come out perfect, in my opinion. But yeah, I just think that's so cute that he makes them and then he brings them over for the family. Especially my son, because my son loves chocolate chip cookies just like my dad does. That's like their thing. They love chocolate chip cookies. The only cookie they like. So, listen, when I was 21 years old, I was wicked hot. Yes, baby, that was me. I've also given birth, and I was also a gymnast and ballerina. The more you know. Anyways, okay, I had just lost a shit ton of weight for reasons I'm not gonna discuss here because I don't want to have to put a trigger warning. I ended up meeting this dude who was like 15 years my senior, okay? He was like 36 to 37 years old and like he had missing teeth and shit. He had just gotten out of prison. But see, in my head, I was like, this is a catch. This is a good situation. Because I'm thin now, I'm conventionally hot. I'm young. So there ain't no fucking way this dude is gonna cheat on me or leave me. I thought I had it in the bag. Here's another picture of me from that time. You recognize that room? That's my kid's room now. So anyways, things are going great, close to perfect with this dude. I mean, aside from the fact that he had a curfew and he had to go to the halfway house every night, but however, sometimes his family would visit, and I just got weird vibes, like just weird vibes. Like, for instance, one of his cousins was an older woman, and she kept commenting how I looked like one of her younger friends. And I thought, she would say it over and over, which I guess it's like, okay, yeah, thanks. I don't know how I feel about being compared to a minor, but okay. And then another aunt of his, she wasn't mean or anything. She was just very, I don't know, she was acting very strange. But it didn't matter, because I was in a fairy tale. This was my Prince Charming. Sure, he wasn't allowed to legally have a license, but that's okay. So like I said, I thought I had this shit on lock. I am young, I am thin, I am hot, I put out all the time. There is no way this dude is gonna go anywhere. Oh, but he did. On my birthday. A 19-year-old. He was almost 20 years older than them. But it gets worse. Then I found out something else. He was mad at me one time, so he decided he needed to go find somebody else to bump uglies with. And guess who it was? I'm not even gonna say cheating, because that's not the appropriate word here. It was the 16-year-old girl that his cousin kept comparing me to that looked just like me. She was 16. It gets even more worse. It gets worse. It gets way worse. I found out he slept with his own aunt, and that's why it was so awkward at family gatherings. Because when he was on the grill grilling kielbasi, his aunt was thinking about a different meat stick. And it gets even worse because I stayed with him for a while. Free place to stay. I was not in a good place. I could do whatever the fuck I wanted. YOLO. A video about how my husband and I look a lot alike is currently trending on Facebook. These people have no idea that my husband and I are both trans men. So I decided to have some fun with it. Carson says, if I had $1 for every time I gagged, you'd be rich. We know you love gagging. Dustin says, your husband is secretly gay. Just trust me. My husband is openly gay. Trust me. Justin says, bro, I'm way too high for this and y'all be playing too much. Is that a girl or not? Like, for real, for real. I must be high too. Yankovic doesn't talk like he's from the streets. James says, I mean, what do you expect? I expect payment for my services, James. Unfortunately, due to the fragile male ego, I am not able to obtain a lot of the responses because once they got a response, they deleted everything. Being monetized was fun, but I like chaos better. You know how they used to have those parties like you'd go to and like it was like an MLM thing except it was with like sex toys? One time I got into an argument with one of those like dealers about raising the minimum wage. I was for it, obviously. I'm not saying that what she said was invalid because of her occupation. I support anything to do with the naked hustle. I'm just saying I've gotten myself in a lot of really weird situations.